In today's episode, we are going to be talking about African countries with the strongest and powerful armed forces in the whole of Africa. The top 10 African countries with the strongest soldier. Many African countries has also fought in the First and Second World War in the 19th century and has the strongest weapon and guns and the nuclear mass destruction. But in today's episode, we're going to be looking at the top 10 African countries with the strongest and the powerful soldiers. Come with me, let's enjoy this video. The number one is the South African soldiers. South African soldiers is the number one most strongest soldiers that has the most strongest armed forces and the most strongest ammunitions and different type of nuclear bombs. The South African soldiers fought in the First World War, in the Second World War, and currently they are still fighting with some bandits in their country. South Africa is known for powerful armed forces which they have in their country. In 1960, when Nigeria became independent, the MFF became known as the Royal Nigerian Army (RNA). When Nigeria became a republic, the RNA changed to the Nigerian Army in the same year. The army changed its uniform, rank structures and instruments from those of RWAFF to the new ones, including the green khaki uniform. Do you know Nigerian army are still in a big war with some bandits that the Nigerian citizens call the Boko Haram? The Boko Haram are Nigerians terrorizing Nigerians. Still date, the Nigerian army are still in a battle with the Boko Haram, with the bandits from the 1900 till date. The Boko Haram are still terrorizing Nigeria. But Nigerian army are still fighting the Boko Haram till date. You can see how Nigeria is very strong in a war like that. The number 3 we have on our list is the Moroccan army. The Moroccan army is the number 3 most strongest African army that has the most strongest armed forces. You can see they wore different type of khaki and they wore different type of soldiers' clothes, doing from their first rank, their second rank and their third rank. Moroccan army is the number 3 most strongest African army because of the First World War they fought with the Britain in 1962. Moroccan army employ thousands of army from different states, from different countries. All they know is that they just need soldiers. They don't care maybe you are from another country. Moroccan soldiers, they will employ you as their soldiers. If you are from any country, you're going to get the uniform, you're going to get employed as their soldiers, even though you are from any country. That would make them the number 3 most African strongest country. The Kenya Defense Force are the armed forces of the Republic of Kenya. They are made up of Kenya Army, Kenya Navy and Kenya Air Force. The KDF was established in the Article 241 of the 2010 Constitution of Kenya. Kenya is also the strongest armed forces in the whole of Africa till date. It also ranked the African country with the strongest armed forces in Africa from when they got independence till date. When you heard of Kenya, you heard of powers. Kenya is one of the strongest African country that has the strongest armed forces here in the African country. The Ghanaian Army is the principal land welfare force of Ghana in 1959, 2 years after the Gold Coast became the independent from the British Empire. The Gold Coast regime was withdrawn from the Royal West African Frontier Force and formed the basics for the new Ghanaian Army, founded in 1959. Ghana is also one of the strongest African countries because he also has fought in the First World War and the Second World War. Ghana also has the nuclear mass destruction that can destroy the earth once in a while. Ghana has also fought in the First World War and the Second World War. And 2 years later, after the Gold Coast became independent from the British Empire, the Gold Coast regime was withdrawn from the Royal West African Frontier Force and formed the basics of the Ghanaian Army. Ghanaian Army was founded in the 29 July 1959. Chief of Army Staff Major General Thomas was Chief of Army Staff of Ghana till now. The Tunisia Army is the component of the Tunisian Armed Forces located in Brazzaville. The Tunisian Army was created on June 30, 1956. The army is the largest service branch in Tunisia. Tunisia fought in a series of battles that took place in Tunisia during the North African campaign of the Second World War. Tunisia is also known as the first African country to fight in the First World War and the Second World War. South Sudan Army is a South Sudanese rebel military that take part in the South Sudanese Civil War and serve as the military wings of Costelio Grand Ring South Sudan movement. By October 2017, the South Sudan soldier was considered to be one of the greatest threats to the South Sudanese government, having made a significant military government. So South Sudan is the number 7 African most powerful armed forces from when they got independent till date. When you talk of South Sudan, you talk of armed forces. When you talk of South Sudan, you talk of military. Because South Sudan is the number 7 most strongest and the number 7 most heaviest country that has the most strongest soldiers till date, till when they got independent till now. Police Army Military was created on January 16, 1961 and reflected the nature of the Congolese security force which recruited among the country. Congo won their first war in 24 October 1966. For the 2023 Republic of the Congo is ranked 122 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual GF revenue. Congo Army was founded in the year 1960, which made Congo one of the strongest African countries. And they won their first World War in the 1966, which made Congo one of the strongest African country in the whole of Africa. It was founded in the year 1960. That's what made Congo the number 8 African country with the strongest and powerful army. Number 9 we have on our list is the Mali Army. The Mali Army is the number 9 most strongest African country because of their power and because their government has nothing to do with them, because they are their own government. They don't have the president. They run consistent military system of government where there is no president in their country, where them are the president of themselves. That will make them the number 9 most strongest African country, because they have the right to do whatever they want to do without any fucking law from their government, because they are the government of their own. That will Mali make them the number 9 most strongest African country. 10 in our list is the Uganda Army. The Uganda Army is the number 10 most African strongest country. People are complaining, why is it not classified as the number 5th African country? That was in the 2020, where it was classified as the number 5th most African strongest army. But right now, in 2023, it has stepped down to number 10 because they lost the power they're supposed to have during the 1982 constitution from their president. That what make Uganda the number 10, and their power was being overthrown during the military system of government which their president claimed to have done in the 1982 constitution. Till date, they are still the number 10 most strongest African country because they lost their power during the British in 1982. Thank you.